Hey guys, welcome. It's Rebecca. Having another day. Trying to get through. I already went through a lot of crying again. Every Friday I have therapy because it's Friday. No, I'm not that Rebecca. I'm a different Rebecca, okay? Every Friday I have therapy and I work through a lot of stuff. And of course, when you're working through stuff, it gets really painful sometimes, especially since my life is really tough right now. I'm trying to work things out. I'm really trying to get through, and I'm really trying to hold on and stay strong. And I don't know, a lot of the time it's transferring over like $4 from PayPal to my account. Okay. It's like if you break a bone and you don't go to the doctor and you don't take care of it and you just let it heal and it heals wrong. And so you have to feel pain for the rest of your life. And in order to fix it, you have to go to the doctor and they have to break the bone and let it heal properly. And a lot of people don't understand what therapy really is. Because they think that it's like you fix things and that not going to the therapist means that everything's fine. And it's not fine. In fact, it could be very much not fine at all. Like it's sometimes it's not fine at all. In fact, sometimes when you avoid going to the doctor, going to the therapist, that's probably when you need it the most. And so I need to kind of give myself a little bit of kindness. In fact, I need to give myself a lot of kindness. Because I am going through a lot, and sometimes I try to diminish it. Sometimes I try to play it down. Sometimes I try to say, oh, you know, I'm really not going through much. I'm just complaining a lot. And that's not the case. I'm actually going through a lot of shit. And sometimes I forget that. And sometimes I feel like I should just be able to put up with it. Sometimes I feel like I should just have to just deal with life as it is, and I have no right to complain, and I should just force myself to just do what everyone else does. But the thing is I have very real challenges, and I'm trying not to use that as an excuse. But I do have very real challenges that most people do not have. Doesn't mean that other people don't have it worse. It doesn't mean that other people don't have similar challenges. But it does mean that I do have very real challenges. And I'm trying to overcome them, and I'm working really hard to try to not let them define me. And I'm trying really hard to get out of it. But in the end of the day, like, I do have some very real limitations over how I can function in this world. And I mean, in a lot of ways, society is trying to meet me halfway. Mental illness is becoming less of a stigma. You know, in the 50s, if you had any kind of... I would have been locked up in the 50s. I'm just going to be real with you. I would have been put away in an asylum, especially for the gender stuff, actually, because that's what that's how they treated us. That's how they treated trans people for most of history, at least in most of modern history. In ancient history, we were just part of society. I feel like there probably was some issues, and especially I know that some cultures did have issues with trans people, but for the most part in ancient history, we were a part of life. We were accepted in the community, and we were in many different cultures. We were a pillar of the community, and people forget that trans people have always been around. But it's not just that, it's autism. It's that, you know, like, for the longest time, like, anybody who, like, I would have been completely locked away. And that would have been my life. And life has changed. The world has changed. it's not like we're celebrating mental illness, and I feel like some people jump to that conclusion. I think it's just that, like, you know, I'm a person and I have very real challenges, just like a blind person has very real challenges, just like somebody who's confined to a wheelchair has very real challenges. It's just a different kind of challenge. And I think the world is definitely changing, and it's like becoming healthier, I think, that someone like me can have a chance in this world. Except the world's not set up for someone like me. You know, if I try to show up to a job, I might do really well. In fact, like, I might do really fucking well. Really well. But then another day goes by, and then it becomes harder. I might perform the same way. I might, like, you know, have no problem actually showing up and doing the work. But internally, my mind is screaming, and my body reacts to that. And then another day goes by, and then another day goes by, and at some point, I just crack. And I can't show up anymore. Or I do something at work that leads me to get fired. Or something with, like, the police, even, because I start screaming. Thanks for the follow, half face, half a chess, and farmer joke on Twitch. Thank you so much. Just trying to go through some things. I've already cried my eyes out. I've already complained on the internet. And now I'm kind of in this place that I usually get into. Let me take off emote only mode. Sorry. I have a habit of putting on emote only mode when I go offline because I don't have any moderation, and I do know that sometimes people will do weird stuff in between streams and then report me and stuff. I'm pretty sure Twitch is changing that. Like, I think they understand the context better now, especially after people have been calling attention to the hate raids and stuff. Honestly, I don't want to get into the whole a day off Twitch thing, but honestly, like, I feel like if you're getting, if you can't handle a hate raid or two on Twitch, I don't think streaming is for you. I really know that that's a very unpopular opinion among small streamers, but I think the fact that you're celebrating being a small streamer in the first place means you're kind of setting yourself up to only be a small streamer. And I feel like the mindset you should have is you should try to shoot for the best you possibly can in your life. And obviously, you might not always get there with most things, but you can at least try to, you know, basically make your giant goal and then try to make that in half, and then try to make that in half. And then obviously you're always trying to shoot for those multiple goals, but you try to shoot for the simpler ones day by day, and, you know, as time goes on, you're going to get closer and closer to that top goal. But if your goal is to be a small streamer, you're only going to be a small streamer. And so I feel like a lot of the people who get upset by hate raids and stuff, they want Twitch to change it. I agree with a lot of the bigger streamers on this, and not just because I'm trying to kiss their ass. I like, if I didn't agree, I wouldn't be saying this. Like, I don't generally agree with people just because I think it's going to get me ahead in life. I don't like the whole, you know, kiss ass attitude. If I agree with somebody, I agree with them. If I disagree with them, I disagree with them. I don't care who they are. Obviously, there is like a little bit of like picking your battles kind of thing, but that's a different kind of thing. I don't know. I had my laser treatment yesterday. I generally respond very well to the laser treatment. In fact, before this treatment, I hadn't had to shave in like 2 weeks, and there was barely any fuzz there. And so now I think this is my final treatment that I had yesterday, because you have to have multiple treatments because your hair has like growth cycles. So I had my final. I think I had my sixth and final treatment. At least, you know, I'm gonna have a consultation to move on to, like, I have a very small amount of like chest hair, like right here, that I've mostly, well, obviously hormones does decrease your body hair. It doesn't change your facial hair, but it changes your body hair growth. It lessens it. But I've never really had problem with chest hair to begin with. And then a year before I started this facial laser, I stopped once I started the whole laser process, but because you don't, but I was tweezing, and tweezing is very kind of painful, you know, I don't know, you don't want to be tweezing while you're going in for laser and stuff. So I stopped when I started the face laser, you know, I stopped all of that when I started, when I had the first consultation for laser, and I stopped everywhere. But the thing is that there's very little hair like right here, and then there's like a little bit of hair, like barely any, like down here, and then there's a little bit of hair like around here. And obviously it's somewhat somewhat manageable just shaving, but I don't want to have to shave my chest and abdomen. You know, really kind of bothers me. So laser hair removal is definitely an option, and I have it available through my insurance, so I'm taking it, but I have to have a consultation again, and you have to, and I'm leading towards bottom surgery preparation, which I don't know exactly how modern changes to, depending on the surgeon. They have different procedures that they go through, and some require hair removal in that area for obvious reasons. At least I hope it's obvious. You don't want hair growing in there. It can cause actual like health problems. Like, besides the fact that that's weird. I don't want hair growing inside of there. But you know, they do, like, I guess they like scrape out the follicles anyway. I don't know. Either way, it can't hurt to be safe rather than sorry. And I can put up with that little tiny pain. It basically feels like a rubber band going against your face or anywhere. And yeah, I mean, I might go for the numbing in that area, but the thing about the numbing is you have to go in an hour before the procedure. They numb the area, which is kind of uncomfortable, and you have to sit there for an hour, and then you have the laser removal. And the laser hair removal is like less than it's like less than 5 minutes. If not only like a few minutes, and especially like that area, I feel like it's not going to be that long. So I might just put up with the pain. You know, I'm kind of I've been dealing with that kind of stuff for a while, like especially with the tweezing. I was tweezing my face for an entire year, and people would like freak out about it. They'd be like, what, how do you deal with that pain? I'm like, this pain is nothing, okay? Yeah, you don't know pain like I do. I don't know. That's a terrible Russian accent. Stereotypical Russian accent. I don't know. It's really frustrating that I live in a world where my skills are... It's really complicated because I'm very skilled. But getting people to give me a living through those skills is a skill that I do not really have. So it's like I have all these skills and there's so much potential there. But convincing somebody that I'm worth hiring and training and giving a chance is the challenge. And I don't know how to do that. And it gives me, and I have like autistic issues that give me internal struggle that I might have to not work for like weeks at a time. And that's frustrating as hell. And so that's why, you know, obviously I'm trying to work around those issues. I'm trying to fix those issues. I don't know if they can ever be fixed, but I guess I can I've been developing strategies towards being able to cope with them better. And besides that, I've been pursuing a career that might be able to work with setting my own schedule, you know, like such as like YouTube. If I can get YouTube to work, make like a video a week and earn at least a part-time income if I can grow it. But in any case, SSI is being pursued and I have a new lawyer with that. But I'm running out of time and I'm trying to figure it out. Like I know that's the title, and I'm trying not to be cliche about it. I try to be genuine in my streams, okay? But I do try to stick to a theme. Something I'm trying to do better because, you know, with YouTube and stuff, you want to be thematic. And I know I'm still streaming. I'm trying to get away from the streaming. I'm trying to get more into actually creating like VOD content. And I guess that's kind of why I've been doing shorter streams. I'm trying to work my way down. And I don't know. I think I'm getting there, and I think it just takes time and effort. And I think I've already been doing it. Like, I've already been streaming content that I could potentially go in and like strip it down and turn it into a theme. Like, you know, like talks like this. But I'm still, in the end of the day, I am just, you know, trying to hang out and stream and work through things, which takes a lot of time. And means that I might stream for an hour or two, which doesn't really translate well to YouTube. I mean, let's just be real. Like, people generally get bored of things after even like a minute. And so I really have to make thematic content, and I don't know how. I just don't know how. I mean, I do know how, but I don't know how to do it on that level. And I'm trying to figure it out. And, you know, that's kind of why I show up to these streams, is I show up and I try to, like, you know, brainstorm ideas. And a lot of the time I just kind of go in circles. And sadly, I guess that's just part of it. And maybe that's normal. Maybe that's just how it goes. Maybe this is what a lot of people do behind the scenes. And maybe the only difference is that I'm doing it live. And maybe this is perfectly fine. Maybe I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. Maybe I'm going above and beyond what I'm supposed to doing. Who knows? Like, I don't know. I'm trying my hardest. I'm trying to show up to write, but it's just getting harder and harder every day. I'm going to be real with you. Like, it gets harder every day to even get out of bed. And I know that only I can fix my life. I know that only I can get myself to make an income, which sadly at the moment, the only option I have for making an actual income, like not just like a few pennies or whatever, like an actual income, is not safe for work content. And I can only maybe do that for like 2 days, and then I just get completely mentally crushed. Worse than any other job, actually. And I talked to my therapist about it today, how like I'm running out of time and I don't have any other way to make money, and I have no idea if and when I'm going to get SSI. So we've been working on it for almost 2 years now, and I still don't have it. And I'm scared. Because I don't want to have to live in the trailer with my dad, whose health is deteriorating over time. But also, you know, I think he's going to be around for a while, you know, regardless of his health problems. He's pretty strong. He's like a rhino. Even with all the alcohol he drinks. Like, he's resilient. Like, he's physically resilient. Which is, you know, if he didn't drink, he'd be so strong. But considering how much he drinks, he's doing great. And I mean, obviously nobody lives forever, though. And any day it could be something goes wrong. And I love my dad and I try to take care of him, but that's not my job. Okay, I gotta take care of myself. I need to get out there and live my life. I wanna reach for the stars, you know? I wanna like go out there and I don't even know exactly what I want. But I know that I don't want this. Living in a trailer alone, and the only person I have in my life is somebody who's also broken and alone. And somebody who is creating an environment that is not conducive for me to getting out of this environment. And every day is just worse. And it's... I have a lot of things going well for me. You know, I'm getting the life-changing surgeries and treatment, you know, hormone treatment that I've waited my entire adult life for. I've known since maybe I was like 16 or 17 what these feelings were. I didn't quite know, like 16, 17. When I was 18, I really found out what they were. That was 15 years ago. That was 15 years ago. And then I didn't come out until 13 years ago. And then I closeted, and then I came out again 2 years ago. Or about 2.5 years ago. I mean, no, 2 years and like a month. No, 2 years and half a month. I don't know, 2 years and a month. Yeah, I came out about 2 years and a month ago. For the second time and final time. You know, enough is enough. And things are going really well with that. And I have consultation for facial surgery in February, which is only like 4 months away. And that's amazing. That's something that I never could have imagined happening. I think it costs like $40,000 plus just for that surgery. And then there also is bottom surgery, which costs similar, depending on the surgeon. And I'm getting the royal treatment here. I'm getting like, laser hair removal. I'm on hormones, and I'm getting surgeries that are extremely expensive, and all of it's being paid for. All of it, 100% of it. And I'm constantly worried that that's going to be taken away from me. And that's why, like, the longer it takes to have those surgeries, the more on edge I am. Because what if everything fails? What if everything gets taken away from me? And people promise that my entire life. People promise me that things aren't going to be taken away from me, and then guess what? They get taken away from me. Every single time. And maybe it's finally time for me to get my break. Maybe this is finally the time that, so far, 100% of my transition has been going by smoothly, with absolutely no break. There's been waits, and that can be devastating because of my mental health and the fact that I need these in order to feel like my life is worth living. But, besides the wait, it's still happening. And it's not going to be taken away from me. If for some reason, my clinic, all my health team will make sure that I get what I need. Okay? And if push comes to shove and I actually have to pay stuff out of pocket, I can start a Kickstarter or whatever. I mean, a GoFundMe or whatever. And in the worst case scenario, I do have that not safe for work content that I can make. That I know makes money. Makes me good money. And that's barely even trying. I'm really good at it, and that's what makes it suck. Because it's something that I'm extremely good at and that actually pays me money, but it's something that I can't mentally handle. And that makes me so angry. That I finally get something that I can actually do and do well, that people love, but I can't mentally handle it. And then all the things that I can mentally handle, I still have trouble with because of depression and because of my life situation, which is making that depression even worse. And then because of my lifelong issues with society and PTSD from that, and also from abuse as a child, making it even harder. The longer it goes on, the harder it gets. And I need it to stop, but it won't. And it relies on me and me alone. And I'm scared because I'm running out of time. And I don't want to be known for not safe for work content. And besides that, it's not even about external things. It's about I don't even know what it's really about. It's just there's this level of, there's gender dysphoria associated. There's shame associated, even though sometimes I really love it and I really love showing my body and feeling positive about it, but it's not always like that. And in order to make it work as a job, I have to show up even when I don't really want to. Which is devastating because that element of my life should not feel like a job. That should be something that I love doing and can show when I want and can be private when I want. Shouldn't have to be used that way. And so many people out there do it anyway. And I feel terrible because there's all these people out there doing even more than what makes me money. And they can't even make the kind of money I make when I barely even try. And that makes me feel so selfish. And I know it's not. It's my body. If I consent to it, I consent to it. If I don't, I don't. And that's fine. That's the end of that. But I don't know how I'm going to get through this world. I mean, I have so much going for me. You know, I'm physically attractive. I'm a beautiful person. Besides just physically. Extremely emotionally intelligent and intellectually intelligent. I have a very high IQ. Very patient with people and with learning things. And yet, you can't earn a living just by learning things. You have to actually be able to use it. And that's the problem I have. That's the issue. And I've been lectured by people my entire life. You can't just study all the time. You can't just learn. You have to actually use what you learn. And the real world doesn't work that way, etc., etc. And I just wish things could be different. And I know that I have to hold on because just because life is like this right now doesn't mean it's going to be like that forever. And I know there's steps I can take to improve things. Especially when it comes to actually preparing things to say. Because the biggest problem I have is when I write or when I talk on stream or whatever, I improvise. And I never go back and actually sit down and prepare something. And that's the biggest challenge for me, is because a lot of the content I need to make needs to be prepared, it needs to be edited, it needs to have like work put into it, instead of just me showing up in front of the camera and just speaking off the cuff, you know. Although some people, I guess, I don't know, maybe I can make that work. I don't know. Maybe I can get good enough at that to make it work. I don't know. But it's something, you know, regardless of whether I can make it work, it's something that I want to work on. Is preparing content, because that's a personal reason, you know, and also it offers me additional paths towards this kind of success that I want, and I'm not going to limit myself. I used to be really rigid in what I could do, and now over the years, after being homeless for 4 years, you know, mainly shelters and couch surfing, but sometimes outside. But even if you're at the shelter, it's not really functioning. And most people don't really talk about it because having a place to sleep isn't really living. And it doesn't really give you the opportunity to change it either. It actually makes it harder because you're living in a place with 100 people and you can't even like function. You don't have, especially if you don't have a car, which I do now, but at the time I didn't have a car. I just had for the longest time I didn't even have a bike, but I had a bike at one point. They just shuttle you downtown and you're stuck downtown where you can't rest. You can barely even sit down because everything is like, you know, pay to win. Because the world is set up to not help people who need the most help. And the people who need the least amount of help get the most opportunities. And that's fucked up. It's not how things should work. Why should a homeless person not have opportunities to not be homeless? And people say that, like, oh, if you're homeless, you know, you shouldn't be able to lie down. It's fucked up. Everybody should be able to lie down on a couch. Or on a bed. to rest so that they can actually do their job. Have a place to shower. Have a place to just relax. And I was told I was lazy my entire life just because I need more of that in order to function. And then when it's time to function, I'm fucking on it. Above and beyond. I put 100% focus into what I do when I do it. And the problem is getting to the place where I can do it. And at this time, it feels so meaningless. It feels like there's no point in even trying. And I still do it anyway, at least at what I can, like with writing my stories, like writing my novels or writing my screenplays. I try to do that anyway, but it feels so pointless. Because how is that going to get me out of poverty? How is that going to pay the rent? And so I'm left with this only option that I just can't do because my mental health is even more important. And I'm not risking homelessness, thankfully, at least at this time. But my dad's health is deteriorating. And I love my dad. I don't want to lose him, but I also don't want to lose him because of very functional reasons. This is the only place I have to live. And if I lost this place, I would be homeless again. And I can't handle that again. I don't want to go backwards. Like, I've already been in the dirt for so long, and I'm fighting so hard to try to get out of it. And I'm going in circles. Every time I show up to try to talk on stream, I pretty much just reiterate the same things, and that makes it even harder because people don't want to listen, and I understand. This is why I stream only a few days a week for maybe like an hour. But I'm just exhausted. And I'm trying my hardest every single day to take care of myself. And my mental health is number one, but if I can't get out of the trailer park, I don't know if my mental health is ever going to be better. And I know that nobody can help me. Nobody can get me out of this except for myself. And I don't know if I can. And I'm gonna fucking fight for it. Even if I can barely get out of bed. Even if all I can do is hold my phone and tap out words on Twitter and Discord. Because that's mostly what's been happening. And I know that people don't like people who complain and who just talk about themselves all the time, but that's all I'm able to think about. I can't even go to my friend's house without thinking about how my life is. And I don't want to bring this on them again. They put up with me so much, and they deserve better. And I know they love me and they accept me regardless, and I do my best to keep it. You know, that's part of why, like, you know, my stream is like where I dump all this information out. In addition, I'm going to therapy, and so I have multiple places to work this stuff out that it's somewhat bearable to, like, keep it on the inside, keep it quiet when I'm around friends, because I don't want to ruin the time I have with my friends by making it all about me and my struggles, which they already know about, and they can't do anything to help me except for just be there for me. I don't expect anyone to fix my life, but it's great knowing that people show up and follow me and chat with me every now and then, even if I don't, even though I never expect it and I never require it. I'm gonna show up and do my stream regardless, and anybody who wants to comment or like and subscribe because they believe in me, you are very much loved and appreciated. But this is most likely something that nobody can really help. I appreciate any follows, I appreciate any donations, but honestly, obviously I'm not going to say no to it, but there's I don't know. It might be like weird, telling people not to donate, but save your money. Because unless I can have a sustainable income, I don't know. I don't want to tell people not to donate, but it's very much appreciated when I see it. And more than anything, it reminds me that people care. And even if you can't donate, even just showing up every now and then and saying, hey, Rebecca, I hope you're doing okay. I believe in you. Or some variation of that, whatever feels comfortable with you. Obviously, no obligation to say anything to me. I'm going to live my life regardless of whether or not people believe in me. Because I need to believe in me. And if I don't believe in me, why would anyone else? And I still believe in myself, and I still believe I can do amazing things in this life. Even as I am now, I don't need to do anything for the world. Everything is because of inside of me. Everything that I'm doing with my transition-related care, my surgeries that I need, which will really, really smooth out my face. I mean, honestly, I'm getting the Hollywood treatment. Oh, thank you, Seth. I mean, I'm going to be freaking... I mean, obviously, my face is going to be swollen after the surgery for a bit. I'm going to be really freaking ugly. But after everything heals up, I'm going to look like a Hollywood actress. I mean, I'm just going to be real with you. I already look like a Hollywood actress, okay? If you think I'm beautiful now, wait until I actually, not just aesthetically, because obviously there is sculpting that goes on with the facial surgery that I'm getting. But more than that, it's that I will feel better about myself, and that will come through and show my real beauty, because I feel like that's where beauty really comes from. And sometimes I need to make a few physical adjustments to make that happen. And especially with gender dysphoria, that's a very real thing. And I'm not giving up on myself. I'm going to keep fighting, and sometimes that means I'm going to go in circles and come here on stream and talk about the same exact things I've talked about a million times. But sometimes that's all I can do, and I'm trying different approaches. I'm trying to actually work on my writing. I'm trying to just get out of bed and do something. And eventually I'll be able to slowly work on stuff and actually make YouTube content and actually start to grow and create meaningful content that people really enjoy watching, make people laugh, educate people, make people feel like somebody out there cares, because I'm just paying forward what other people have done for me with their YouTube and Twitch content. There's streamers out there that have helped me feel like, hey, like, my life could be better. Even though it might not be, it will most certainly never be like theirs. Not exactly. Might be, it might, it might have similar features. I might be very successful. I eventually want to, when I get my life somewhat together, I want to go take acting classes. And maybe move near LA, or at least visit LA to go try to audition for something. Thanks for the follow, Palliance. It's good to see you again. I'm really tired, but I'm gonna keep showing up and trying to fight for my life, because I only get one, and I owe it to myself to be the best person I can be. To be, I sometimes still consider myself to be a girl and not a woman yet, because I feel like I have to go through some experience. I canceled my affiliate. I actually submitted a ticket to Offboard so that I can use Restream, because I'm simultaneously streaming on YouTube right now and other platforms. Oh, yeah, I think I remember that person now that you mention it. Oh, it says they're already banned. Okay. I don't know how they can follow if they're banned. I don't know what that's about. And hey, Wikipedia. Yeah, I'm using Restream right now. Either way, streaming is not the primary growth tool, but I may as well catch lightning in a bottle if I'm going to be streaming every now and then, like a few days a week, maybe a few hours. You know, I'm actually about to end the stream right now. It's only been 40 minutes. Streaming at my level, at my viewership, streaming more is actually a detriment. So streaming less is a lot more effective if I use those streams to work things out, like I'm doing right now. And I don't know, I just, every single day seems to get harder. But I have to keep showing up because I can't just give up on myself. I have to keep fighting. I only get one life. And I have to live the life that is worth living. Anyway. Thank you. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like this content, or if you believe in me and want to see what comes next, which might be some very amazing things, especially after I start writing and finishing my screenplays, and especially if I start collaborating with people and making amazing content, which I have plans, but I need a screenplay in my hand first. And at some point I want to take acting classes and try to audition, and maybe I'll be the next Marvel superhero. I don't know. But I'm gonna hang in there, Wikipedia, and I'm gonna pull myself out of this. And it doesn't mean I have to do it alone, but in the end, I can't expect anyone to save me. And I have to live my life as if I'm the only one who can do it. Even if people do help me, I still have to live my life as if I'm literally the only one who can do it. Because, I mean, that's just how it is anyway. And even if other people help me, I still have to have that mindset. Anyway. We can all be Wonder Woman. Anyway, thanks. Bye.